everyone, and welcome back. Here I am again to bring you another taco recipe. Today we're going to be making tacos de cachete. This recipe is super easy to make. The only hard thing about making these is having to wait. But believe me, once they're done, they are super delicious. Even my 7-year-old grandson just loves it. So let's gather our ingredients and let's get started. We're going to be making about 8 pounds of beef cheeks. If you're not making as much, you can always cut down the ingredients in half. And we're going to start out by rinsing off our meat. We're going to wash each piece, just making sure it's nice and clean. And if there's any large pieces of fat, you can trim those off as well. As we get done with each piece, we're going to set it in a large bowl. Meanwhile, we're going to get our pot ready. I'm going to be using one of these. If you don't have one of these, you can also use a regular steamer. And we're going to fill it up about 1/4 of the way with water. We're going to cover the bottom with corn husks. These are the same ones you use when you make tamales. You can also use banana leaves. Now we're going to go back to our meat to season it. We're going to be using adobo, which is an all-purpose seasoning. And we're going to get a good generous amount on each piece. And once we season each piece, we're going to place it in the pot on top of the corn husks. And we're going to continue with the other pieces until we're all done. Now that we have everything in the pot, we're going to add a couple tablespoons of chicken bouillon to the top. I add chicken bouillon to almost all of my dishes. Here we have the 2 seasonings that we use, the all-purpose seasoning and the masala chicken bouillon. We're also going to be using 2 white onions. Here I have 2 that I already peeled, so we're just going to cut them in half. Then we're just going to place them over the meat, just like that. And we're also going to add 8 garlic cloves. Here I already peeled them, so now we're just going to place them over the top. And lastly, we're going to add 3 bay leaves. I did forget to tell you guys that my husband is helping me out today. I don't want you guys to think that all of a sudden I have these manly hands. Now we're just going to cover it up with more corn husks. Make sure you get enough on there, enough to cover all the meat. We're using the corn husks straight out of the bag. If you want them a little soft, more manageable, you can soak them in hot water before you start preparing your meat. That way when you're ready to place them on there, they're nice and soft and more manageable. And now that they're all ready, we're going to cover it up and we're going to place it on the burner for 2.5 to 3 hours, which is about the amount of time that it takes for them to cook. You can cook these inside or outside. We like to cook them outside because we live in Arizona and it gets so hot when you cook them inside. Make sure you check on them often to make sure they have enough water during the process. It's been 3 hours now, so now we're going to check on our meat. We took it off the burner and we brought it inside, so now we're just going to remove the corn husks. It should be nice and soft and it should fall apart almost instantly. If it's still too hard, you might want to leave it cooking a little bit longer. When cutting it, it should fall apart almost instantly. See how soft that is? This one is ready. It does look a little bit red, but that is normal. Since we're making tacos, we're going to chop it into small pieces like these. And now we're just going to transfer it into a baking dish. I'm using a baking dish because it makes it easier to warm it up later if it needs to. now we're going to prepare our tacos. Warmed up some tortillas, and now we're just going to add a hefty spoonful of our delicious meat onto each tortilla. And while our meat was cooking, I minced up some onion and some cilantro, and now we're just going to top it off with a little bit of onion and cilantro. I also prepared a red salsa that I made out of chile de árbol and tomatillos. It came out a little bit spicy, but it goes perfect with these tacos. You can also top it off with a little bit of lime juice. And of course, you mustn't forget your salsa. Now these tacos are ready to be enjoyed. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Make sure to check out my other videos on tacos. And if you would like to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button, share with your friends and family, and I'll see you another day for another recipe.